You ever have one of those mornings where you walk into the shop, pick up a piece of scrap, and just know the universe is about to humble you? I tried to run a bead on some 6061 aluminum this morning before coffee, and man, I didn't weld it. I just aggressively melted it into a puddle of sadness.
Wait, the master of the torch actually produced a puddle of sadness? I thought you could weld two soda cans together in a hurricane.
Ordinarily, maybe, but aluminum is a fickle beast. It's got this invisible skin, that oxide layer, that melts at 3 times the temperature of the metal underneath. It's like trying to fry an egg inside a shell made of diamonds. You think nothing is happening, then suddenly, the whole thing just vanishes into your lap.
Well, at least your lap stayed warm. But seriously, we're talking about the future of fabrication today, and apparently the tech is finally catching up to your caffeine-deprived hands. I was reading about these new pulse MIG setups.
It's a game changer, Alex. Truly. Back in the day, if you wanted aluminum to look pretty, you had to TIG weld it. You're sitting there, dabbing a rod like you're performing microsurgery. It takes forever. But these new pulse MIG machines, they're mimicking that TIG look at the speed of a getaway car. It's fluctuating the current so fast, you get that stack of dimes aesthetic without spending 6 hours hunched over a bench.
Is it cheating, though? I feel like the purists are going to come for you.
Everything new feels like cheating until the deadline hits. But look, even with the fancy gear, you can't be sloppy. I saw a guy last week use the same wire brush on aluminum that he'd used to clean rust off a trailer frame.
I'm guessing that didn't end well.
It's the cardinal sin. You need a dedicated stainless brush that stays in a velvet-lined box, practically. If even a tiny fleck of carbon steel hitches a ride into that aluminum weld, you're looking at porosity that makes the metal look like Swiss cheese. It's not just ugly, it's structurally useless.
Speaking of things being useful, let's talk about the 100K plumber era. The August data just dropped, and honestly, Tiger, I think I picked the wrong career. Skilled trades are seeing a 12.9% pay jump this year. That's not a raise, that's a moonshot.
It's about time the market realized that society doesn't function without the people who know how to keep the water flowing and the lights on. We spent 30 years telling every kid they needed a cubicle and a spreadsheet, and now we're staring at a massive shortage of folks who actually know which way to turn a pipe wrench.
It's not just the money, though. It's the prestige. Did you see that Tom Milligan joined the board of Bring Back the Trades? They're building out this electrical training academy that treats an apprenticeship like a D1 scholarship.
And it should be. Learning to wire a 3-phase industrial motor is just as intellectually demanding as learning organic chemistry. And honestly, the stakes are higher. If you mess up the chemistry, you fail the lab. If you mess up the wiring, the building becomes a very expensive Roman candle.
A Roman candle with a very unhappy insurance adjuster. But if you're a technician listening to this and your boss is still offering you the same rate from 2022, the data is your leverage. Use those 2026 benchmarks.
Exactly. And don't just look at the hourly. Look for the shops paying for your continuing education. A boss who pays for your next certification is basically handing you a key to a vault.
Let's pivot to the maker moguls. Shopify put handmade goods in their top 25 business ideas for the year. But it feels crowded out there. How does a guy making cutting boards in his garage actually compete with the algorithm?
You stop selling the board and start selling the burn marks.
Okay, that sounds like something you'd find on a motivational poster in a basement, Tiger. Break it down for me.
What I mean is, people don't buy things anymore. They buy the story of how the thing survived the maker. I've been watching Rick Dior, the custom drumstick guy. He does something brilliant with his B-stock. He'll have a pair of sticks that are structurally perfect, but maybe have a tiny mineral streak or a grain pattern that isn't perfectly symmetrical. Instead of tossing them, he sells them as display sticks or practice B-stock at a discount. It does 2 things. It keeps his premium line looking untouchable, and it gives someone who's a little light on cash a way into his ecosystem.
It's the gateway drug of woodworking.
Precisely. And while they're using those B-sticks, they're watching his behind-the-scenes videos of him struggling to get a DW floor tom cut down perfectly. That vulnerability builds a bridge. If I see a master craftsman sweat over a cut, I trust the finished product a hell of a lot more than something that popped out of a plastic mold in a factory.
It makes it human. It's the handmade hybrid model, using high-tech sales platforms to sell very low-tech, high-soul products. Speaking of soul, you've been tackling the contractor-free backyard project. Be honest, how many times have you considered calling in a professional crew and just handing them your credit card?
Every time I have to move a wheelbarrow of gravel, my lower back is currently filing a formal grievance against my brain. But we're doing it in phases. which is the only way to stay sane.
Most people try to do the whole extreme home makeover thing in a weekend. What's the TigerDen blueprint for not losing your mind?
You have to respect the hierarchy of dirt. Everyone wants to buy the fancy outdoor sofa first. Don't. You start with the hardscaping. Get your pavers level. Get your fire pit anchored. If you try to do the water features or the mood lighting before the ground is settled, you're just building a very expensive mud pit.
And the drum mods? I saw you working on that DW floor tom. Cutting into a high-end drum shell seems like a great way to turn $1,000 into firewood.
It's nerve-wracking, I won't lie. The trick, and this works for any thin-walled wood project, not just drums, is the tape. You wrap that cut line in high-quality painter's tape like you're bandaging a wound. It supports the wood fibers so the saw doesn't blow out the finish. It's the difference between a clean edge and something that looks like a beaver chewed through it.
See, that's the DIY mastery I'm here for. Small tricks for big stakes.
That's the whole game, Alex. Whether you're welding aluminum, negotiating a plumbing contract, or cutting a hole in a perfectly good drum, it's all just about managed risk and having the right brush for the job.
And keeping your stainless steel brushes in a velvet box.
Exactly. Look, if there's one thing to take away from the shop floor today, it's this. The value of what we do isn't just in the finished object. It's in the fact that we're the ones who know how to fix it when it breaks, or build it better when it doesn't exist. The market is finally catching up to the value of a person who can work with their hands. So, don't sell yourself short.
Whether you're a maker mogul or a master plumber, the world needs your hands on the tools.
Amen to that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go apologize to a piece of aluminum.
Good luck with that. See you guys next time in the den.